Alright, here we go. And I don't know why I didn't get this portrait, because I watched the finals. Maybe because I didn't watch it live, I watched the VOD. Anyway. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it's the green Terran, Xenon. In-game name is TheWildGame. I'm going to go with Xenon. It's going to be easier because it's shorter. His opponent, the red Protoss. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the Bjiggles. So, now that I'm in game, and I'm assuming the Bjiggles is no longer in the chat, I'll say what I've observed. Okay, and right as I'm about to say it, what I've observed in Xenon's play, even though I haven't seen his TvP yet, he's a very aggressive player. He really shines when he's multitasking, whether it's through drops, multi-pronged attacks, any kind of harassment. Really effective with it, and he's going with a gas first. So this, 9 times out of 10, is going to be an aggressive build. The 10th time, when it's not aggressive, would be if for whatever reason you just know your opponent is going to do some kind of cheese, and you want to get out a factory or a starport to counter that. But that doesn't really make any sense at all in TvP. You do it in TvT, gas first, defensive build. TvP, not so much. Yeah, so TvP has actually gotten a bit less stressful for me because admittedly, mid-game Liberator pushes, especially once you start mixing in Widow Mines, are pretty damn strong. And you don't have to worry about Colossi, Stalker, Storm, Deathball compositions. Now, of course, Adept Harassment is super, super strong, and Warp Prisms can just end a game if they get to your base and get a Warp-In cycle. But I'll take that over getting A-moved by the Colossus, Stalker, Storm, Deathball. So still stressful, still stressful, but I feel better in the mid-game with Liberator pushes, because again, Liberators are freaking strong. And I would rather deal with harassment than I would Deathballs. So a second gateway, actually. Will the Reaper see both? And will the Bjiggles use an overcharge to deny it? No, just good positioning for now. We'll push the Reaper away. The Reaper's going to see that there's no expansion. So that's already a tell. Now, this isn't crazy to go with 2 gateways for an expansion. A lot of times, Protosses will do this if they just want to go with a few Stalkers, Mothership Core, and they're going to rush the Terran's base. They can do so with a Photon Overcharge. They can just use the Mothership Core for high ground vision and try to pick off some supply depots. Or it can just be a defensive build that allows for pressure depending on what the Protoss scouts, and in fact, that appears to be exactly what Bjiggles is doing with this expansion now. So he can push across the map with the Stalkers. He's going to keep the Mothership Core at home. He's going to expand. TheWildGame is probably going to be comforted seeing this expansion go down now. But these Stalkers here can find a little bit of damage. They might be able to pick off a Mule. Bjiggles has excellent Stalker control. He is going to go for a Mule. Targets 1 down. Xenon is going to come out here with the Cyclone, pick off 1 Stalker. He's going to lose the Cyclone for this, though. But how many Stalkers are going to go down as a result? Looks like all of them, all of the Stalkers are in fact going to go down. It was for what? 1 Mule, 1 Worker, and 1 Cyclone. Was it worth it? I don't know. 3 Stalkers? That's a tough one. In terms of resources, slight advantage for TheWildGame, and of course his expansion was somewhat significantly ahead. So for those reasons, I'm going to say that Xenon comes out ahead in that exchange. Unfortunately for him, he's under a pretty heavy supply block here, electing not to go with the call down just yet. But yeah, that supply block is actually hurting quite a bit Nice little exchange to get the game started. Marines are going to push across now with another Cyclone. Will he continue Cyclone production? Yes. So already we're seeing a pretty unique way of playing the matchup here from Xenon. As I was saying, I expected him to do something different. And in fact, he is. Yeah, I'll be done right after this game. Oh, almost gets the Cyclone away. Nice Stalker control here from Bjiggles. Like I was saying before the game, he usually has really good Stalker control. These Cyclones are so freaking strong though, and he's going to pull the Stalkers into the Marines. He needs to focus down the Cyclone here. Stalker's giving chase, electing to pull back and pick off the Marines instead, which is ultimately the better decision, I believe. Nice little micro wars here so far. Stalkers do not want to overextend. They're going to run into two Cyclones. He does pick off one of them, but he has to be very careful here. Xenon's going to park at the watchtower for now. Bjiggles actually has completed Blink. I actually missed that in the production tab. I was about to say we'll probably be going for Blink, but it is in fact complete. Reaper's probably going to poke around, see if he can find a third base. Yep. Cyclone's going to poke out and get picked off. Nothing that TheWildGame or nothing that Xenon can do about that. This is super dangerous for Xenon. Marines going down, Blink forward to pick off the Cyclone, and suddenly Xenon is left with virtually nothing at home. He does have a bunker that's going to help him buy some time. And unfortunately for Bjiggles, he doesn't have a forward pylon. SCVs come off the line to repair. Liberator gets picked off almost immediately. Cyclone goes down. SCVs are going to have to repair, but they're also going to be dying at the same time. Stalkers get back to the mineral line. This is a terrible position right now for Xenon. Excellent pressure here from Bjiggles. Stalkers blink in. Bjiggles is super confident, as he should be. And Xenon is going to have to make a move soon. And once again, I have to point out the fact that there's no forward pylon here for Bjiggles. If he had a forward pylon, I might even call game right here and now. Even still, even without the forward pylon, it might just have been too much damage. We'll find out shortly here. Only 2 Marines in here and no repair just yet. The bunker goes down. A tank is on the high ground. But the Liberator is not with the defense. And once this tank goes down, it's going to be GG. SCVs plus a Cyclone I don't think is going to be enough. Blink is on cooldown. Off cooldown now. Liberator still not doing anything over here. I think Bjiggles may have broken Xenon. Just way too many SCVs going down. GG is called. That was a pretty cool game.